I was listening to an interview in Spanish. Tengo un plan, I think is the podcast. I never saw it, but probably the algorithm gave it to me because of the person who was interviewed. There is a man from Catalonia who has been living in Amazonia with all the native people who are in connection with ayahuasca, and he is like the bridge in between the native world and the Western European culture world, crossing the barrier of the religion. But this guy, with all his best intention, he thinks that with all his knowledge, he can transport the dreamland, wonderland, crazyland, spirits, ghosts, concepts, ideas into a Western mind situation. And I see so clear with the example of this Carlos Pichama. So this guy, he speaks the language of these people, and he's very good in everything, and he's translating, and I understand, of course. And he said some word in their language. They're not Quechuas, they are another tribe. And this guy is considered like he said, like more than a chief, of course. And he said that this person managed to avoid a war in between Peru and Ecuador, the country. I don't know if it is true or not. But what it means is that this person is the biggest connection with the wildest, craziest, wonderfulest lands. He's the one bringing it from the other side in the purest level, because he made a jump of 8,000 years from the Stone Age till speaking on the phone, on a mobile, traveling on an airplane, and getting out of the plane through the finger. So for him, it's still the umbilical connection. So the airport and the plane is the same thing that he didn't see during the journey. And he's so stupid because he doesn't know anything about our modern world seen it from this perspective. But he feels everything is knowledge, is creations by humans based on human concepts. But he feels. And when this guy asked him, what do you think about our culture, our civilization? He said, you have no, the word that he said. And this guy translated into power, energy, internal energy, life, temple. He said, temple. I don't know what he meant truly by that word. But what he meant is the force. And if you don't let the force be with you, if you don't share it, that's what people call peace. So he sees people peaceless, forceless. And this is what the Catalan person cannot explain. Because I heard him in 2 different podcasts, and he's using so many white European concepts, even though he tried to disintoxicate, but he went 3 times to university to get 3 degrees. The more intoxicated you are, the more years you're gonna need to connect to that level, because you have to start disconnecting so many cables that they've been putting into you, and you think you are out of the matrix, but you are in a more aware state inside of the matrix, just like all of us. None of us is outside of the matrix, because there is always a higher matrix whenever you find it. The one who got out of the matrix is the one who never talks, the one who never reacts, the one who doesn't know what fear is, because the only thing that he, she, it is the force. And Europeans, of course, they have the force, but they are blocking it. They are putting bricks on top of it, and this person cannot feel it, because we are all fighting to hide that force in order to fit in the groups of the different societies, because we are all born the same, through the tunnel, umbilical, growing the same way, all the same. We are all animals, but then we are becoming persons. And these people are different people depending on their ideologies, their religions, their geographical situation, where Africa, Asia, and Europe is just one continent. You can go walking from one place to another through Egypt, or sailing closely from Morocco to Spain. The Mare Nostrum. But America was the island. It was the biggest island on earth. I don't know how the different civilizations who appeared and disappeared, just like in the East and West worlds, the same way. But Chinese are still there, but have changed so many times that the civilization, Chinese civilization today, has nothing to do with the Chinese civilization in the past, in 4,000 years ago. But these people from the Stone Age, they are exactly the same. No businesses, no pharmacies. And you don't need anything else. No business and no pharmacies. And this person died when he was 110 years old. Socrates died when he was killed by death. Platon was 83. So where is the progress about people living longer? Longer for what? To kill more people. To tell the people to have as many children as possible to fill the planet. To take the Indians into the reservations, and then black people and white people have a common enemy. Many years ago, I said that the only evolution of the human animal is the consciousness. And the human person is the completely mixed race. Dogs are having the same problem than humans in that case. It's not the same. All the bulldogs are more similar to each other than boxers with bulldogs. Or, I don't know the name of the breeds, but the smallest one, like Chihuahua, or any other, and the biggest ones, they have their own personality, animality. Most of the times, the smallest ones, they are like more aggressive because they are scared of such a huge monster. And the fears are creating anxiety, and they only react with violence or with fear, with the tail in between the legs. It's so easy to observe them. So they have their own animality. not the same breed has the same reaction towards the same specific kind of big dog. They learn as we learn. But they have less prejudice, they have no bias, they have no problem with ignorance. Embracing the ignorance is the first step to take in order to keep going into the evolution.